He's never fought us. Not us united.
I can so see that. That's it. Welcome to Under Two Capes, the premier podcast of Comics League. I'm Jared. I'm here with Teladia Plays and JJheat Plays. What's up, boys?
Hey,
What's up?
guys.
So today we are talking about our favorite Spider-Man stories because Spider-Verse is out and we want that search algorithm. So let's go with I'm gonna start with I'm gonna go around. We're gonna give like our top 5 Spider-Man stories, and then we'll like bring this into like a more open discussion. So first, mine are the PS2 Spider-Man game, and by these are in like no particular order. The PS2, the PlayStation Spider-Man game, because I love that, and the story is like incredible. Spider-Man Web of Shadows, because I love the symbiotes. The Spider-Man Kraven's Last Hunt. That is the craziest comic book story I have ever read, but still awesome. And for my fourth story, it's probably Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man Ends of the Earth by Dan Slott, because you get the cool Spider-Man Mark II suit, and then he's leading the Avengers against the Sinister Six because they've never fought Spider-Man's villains before. And then for my final story, I would have to go with, and this can be a Spider-Man movie, No Way Home. Honorable mention, any Spider-Verse movie.
Okay.
Now, JJheat, what's next?
Again, this is in no particular order. Kraven's Last Hunt, Spider-Man 1, Raimi trilogy. Just wanted to make that clear.
There you go.
What's number 3? Death of Gwen Stacy. That was an iconic storyline for a variety of reasons. Let's see. I'm on number 3.
You're on 4.
Oh, I'm on number 4. Thank you. That team up Spider-Man had. Oh no, Secret War, the original Secret War, where Spider-Man gets the black suit, and then Black Suit Spider-Man leading up to Venom, and Absolute Carnage.
Okay,
that's a good one.
For me, it's straight up like my number 5. Of course, I would say Secret Wars, the black suit, the black suit introduction.
That counts, yes.
Number 4 is, you're not gonna believe this, it's actually the Ultimate Spider-Man comic.
Why did I mention Ultimate Spider-Man?
Yeah,
that was a pretty good game, not gonna lie.
It's not a game. It's a
comic. The comics, JJheat, the comics.
Wait, didn't they make a game based on Ultimate Spider-Man?
Yes, they did. And it was kind of funny is that game actually counts as a volume of the story, so you have to play that in order to understand the entire story, which is stupid.
So the Ultimate comic, Ultimate Spider-Man, is number 4. Number 3 is actually, I would have to say, surprisingly, is Spider-Man 2 from 2004 from the Sam Raimi's.
I like that. So because isn't like Spider-Man 2 known as like one of the best superhero movies of all time?
Yes. So that's number 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 2, I would have to say, is Marvel Spider-Man, the 2018 video game.
Yep.
And then number 1 is going to be Marvel Spider-Man 2 with the introduction of the black suit Spider-Man and Venom and Kraven the Hunter and all of that.
Oh, yeah. I love it. It was fun fact, in Kraven's Last Hunt, that was not the symbiote suit. Just what happened was, okay, so he got rid of the suit, but Marvel editorial still wanted the cool black suit, so they had Mary Jane, I think, make it out of cloth.
Yes.
Which is weird because wasn't she like frightened by Venom at one point? So I'm like, why are you making a suit that reminds you that happened?
Technically, Kraven's Last Hunt was an added continuity story, so you could really get away with just about anything.
Really? I thought it was in continuity.
No, I'm pretty sure it was out of continuity. Kraven's
Nah, it
last one.
was. I'm pretty sure it was.
Not really.
It's in continuity, JJheat. It's just some stuff happens that doesn't make sense, but it's in continuity. All right, so I want to talk about the Spider-Man game because
Yeah.
it's interesting that we would rank this as like our Spider-Man stories, and I want to talk about why that is. Part of it is, I think, because that game, I think, well, it captures Spider-Man really well, and like, well, let me see here, because that story basically captures the gist of the Spider-Man like story experience. Would you agree, Teladia? Or like anyone that's there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Sorry,
Okay,
my
cool.
internet kind of lagged out there.
Of course. Hashtag get Teladia better internet. But anyway, but so would you agree with me on that?
On
On the fact that that the Spider-Man games from like the PlayStation era, they really capture like the whole Spider-Man story experience.
yes, I will have to agree with you there.
Like they have all of the basic things you want. You get the Parker luck, and honestly, I didn't expect him to kill Aunt May. I was like, oh
No,
really?
that was surprising. It did surprise me, definitely, and it did, you know, I was just like, what? That's crazy. They did.
Did you see the whole Mr. Negative reveal coming? Because I didn't.
No, no, I didn't. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, because I thought he's a nice guy, and then he turns out he's the villain the entire time, except for like Doc Ock.
Yeah,
But yeah, I like how that game also subtly put in Doc Ock.
yeah. At the first run of it, like you
Yeah.
literally get the Sinister Six
Mm-hmm.
in the game, which is uh you got Vulture, you got Shocker, Rhino, Scorpion, and Mr. Negative, and then you've got Doc Ock. So it's
Yeah.
like as the ringleader, and I'm just like, this is Spider-Man versus Sinister Six, isn't it?
Which
Everyone,
I'm cool with that, and I also love how the game also had like so many suits. Even this one, because they revealed a few of the suits for Summer Game Fest, and what's funny
yeah,
is one of those suits. Okay, do you know what? Okay, so a couple of years ago, Marvel tried to. Marvel knew how popular the amalgam era of comics are. So what they wanted to do is capitalize on that, but they didn't want to give DC any like royalties and such. So you know what they did, Teladia?
go on.
They had this thing called I forget Infinity Warps. So what they did was they merged Marvel superheroes together, like we had Doctor
Oh,
Strange
I
and
think I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
I think
we had Doctor Strange and Cap became the Soldier Supreme. Spider-Man and Moon Knight became the Iraq Knight.
oh god.
So that's what they're referring to with that suit.
Are you kidding me?
It's
That's what they
Spider-Man
refer.
and Moon Knight.
But there was a 25th century suit in for the new game
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was announced. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is.
And
I was just saying because I was looking at the suits that were revealed and I'm like, did they really do the Infinity Warp Spider-Man suit?
yeah, they did.
That
They also
is
did like
crazy.
they did the Stone Mid-Key suit as well.
Yeah, again, that game series really knows how to like come up with like how to pull some deep cuts of Spider-Man suits and Spider-Man lore. It still astounds me.
Yeah.
But so now we're going to talk about I think so Now we're gonna for a little bit because it still counts as Spider-Man story. Let's theorize a little bit of what the story is for Spider-Man 2 with the new information that was revealed. Because here's the thing. I saw the I saw like the concept art that they put out. They showed Spider-Man and Miles fighting Venom. So we know that that's going to be a component in the game. So again, my theory. So I think that they're going to go with, for Venom, the ultimate origin where it's like an anti-cancer suit. They're not going to go alien.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I don't think that's Eddie Brock. I think that's Harry Osborn.
Yeah, I think that's Harry Osborn. I did make a speculation type of thing, video about it.
Mm-hmm. I'll link in the description below. But
It's pretty much, I talked about like Venom's identity being revealed, and it's not Eddie Brock, and I'm just like, so it has to be Harry then, isn't it?
They could still make it Eddie Brock at some point during the game, like the post credit is it going on to Eddie?
Yeah, it's interesting the way they're doing it though, because they're doing this game where it's revolving around Kraven's last hunt, but at the same time you're doing like the introduction of Venom, and the way I'm getting vibes from it is the Ultimate Comics, the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. That's what I'm getting vibes from. I put a comment in one of my friends' video and I said, look, I'm getting this vibe of Ultimate Spider-Man, when Peter gets the suit and he turns into Venom. So I have that feeling that we might get Peter as Venom first, but then the suit comes off him, and then it transfers over to Harry to save his life, but then we have to fight him.
I agree.
So it'd be friend versus friend.
And by the way, I think that at one point we are going to fight Venom Spider-Man as Miles. In other words, there's going to be a fight of Peter versus Miles, because when Miles decides that the suit has to come off Peter because it's changing him, of course Peter's going to resist, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to that.
So I'll say this though, with the game being revealed for October 20th, I know for a fact that if you guys haven't played the game, it's on sale for the first 2 games. So if you get I believe it's the Ultimate edition for Miles Morales, you can get a deal for that. Actually, it's on the Plays of Day sale.
I still have to get the Miles Morales game. I have the first one for PC. Well, first off, I need to get a good gaming PC, and then I can actually play these games the way they're meant to be played. But
surprisingly,
that's a project.
Surprisingly, Spider-Man Miles Morales is a relatively self-contained story.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You could play both games separately, or in nothing, and you wouldn't really be spoiled by anything.
All you would need is like, because Spider-Man, because you don't even have to explain Spider-Man's new suit, because it's just he has new suits in every iteration of the games.
Yeah.
But so now what I want to talk about is something I really hope it doesn't happen. Speaking of Spider-Man stories. All right, yeah. Spider-Man. So actually, you know what? First, I want to talk about the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, because Teladia brings up a good point. We can't talk about Spider-Man comics without discussing those. So that was like the series that was consistently good for the Ultimate comics, because a lot of the other lines dropped in quality. Particularly, I'm looking at you, Ultimates, particularly when Jeff Loeb came on.
X-Men. Excuse me.
Yeah, or like the Scarlet Witch Quicksilver thing that for some reason he put in the Ultimate comics. I'm not going to say what actually happens, because this is supposed to be a PG podcast, but you guys can look it up and know what I'm talking about.
Basically Game of Thrones, but Marvel Comics. That's all I'm going to say.
That's actually very accurate, except it's like not even the good Game of Thrones. It's the reason that I got off of Game of Thrones. But anyway, I mean, they had like they had the cool stuff. They had like the Venom suit, but they made it so it's not an alien. It's a cancer suit, as I said before. that whole arc with Venom and it was actually Bendis's last good piece of comic book writing, really, because after that it kind of went downhill. Then he came to DC, and we all know what happened
No,
with that.
don't mention it. Do not mention it.
Hashtag Bendis point.
No, because you mention it, and you know who's gonna turn up in the comment section.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't say the S word, so Tevia's not going to show up in the comments. I didn't say the S word, but so another thing that I really liked is that how it changed stories, like the death of Gwen Stacy is via Carnage and not Norman Osborn, and then they somehow Bendis succeeded where so many other Spider-Man writers have failed in creating a good Clone Saga story.
Actually, a very good Clone Saga story
Mhm.
was actually the 90s. The 90s, the 90s animated show.
Oh, the animated show, yes, because I was about to say, are you talking about the Clone Saga comics? Because then we have a problem, Teladia.
No. I'm talking about the cartoon show, the 90s animated cartoon show. How can you ever forget about
Perfect
that?
adaptation, class,
Which is
masterclass.
awesome. Even the adaptation of the Venom arc, shocker! That was just so dope.
Yeah, and that line should be used for Marvel Spider-Man 2. I'm saying
Yes,
this now.
I want it, please. Yeah, if Shocker shows up or like says something like that, or
He's
But
gonna
he did,
show
he
up.
did say, Brian Interhart did say on the stage that some of the villains that we got in the first game might make it to the second game.
Okay. So if we get that, yeah, if Symbiote Spider-Man does not scream Shocker at one point, that's just a missed opportunity right there.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I think as well when it comes down to Spider-Man comics, I think the Ultimate Spider-Man obviously is a very, very good story. But I also think what in recent comics, I would have to say this comic in 2017 when Peter and J. Jonah Jameson have that sit-down interview, right?
Mhm.
And Peter tells JJ, reveals himself to Spider-Man, right?
I thought he yeah, I'm sorry. He revealed himself in Civil War, but that got wiped away. That has to be a mind up to know that the person that you hate so much has
Is your
been right next
employee.
to you the entire time. But I love in Civil War when Peter reveals his identity and J. Jonah just faints.
Yeah.
That was awesome. But
No,
yeah,
but the one they just recently did in 2017 was more memorable
yeah, it was.
because it told the backstory of not only Peter's backstory, but he also told J. Jonah Jameson's backstory too. So I think that's why it's got like a very good. That story was very well done. That's why it's like I would say probably up there as the one of the most highest. I'm not highest. I would say really good comics to read. If you guys haven't picked up a Spider-Man comic yet, I would
In my
recommend.
opinion, the folly that was Spider-Man's role in Civil War was due to a variety of factors. One, it wasn't even relevant to the story, not even in the sense of a tie-in. It was just a publicity stunt because in context of the story, the heroes just had to reveal their identities to the government, not the public. So all in all, Peter going public was a publicity stunt anyway. And two, this led to the chain of events that would ultimately make Peter make a deal with Mephisto in one more day. So if it weren't for those two significant factors, Peter's role in Civil War wouldn't be as infamous nor as relatively memorable as it is.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about Sins Past. I'm only kidding.
Nope. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah. I still can't believe that the Spider-Man has some of the best stories, but he also has some of the worst stories.
Well, infamous. I wouldn't say worse, but definitely infamous.
You're telling me that Gwen Stacy sleeping with Norman Osborn is not the worst story, JJheat? Really?
No. Batcest is the worst story.
Yes, that is the worst story. I'll agree with you on that one. But
No, but in terms of Marvel Comics, right? Because
Mhm.
this is a Marvel comic video, guys.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
a
come on.
DC. Not a
He
DC.
has the worst stories that Marvel Comics. Let's face it. He has some of the worst of Marvel Comics because the editorial keeps wanting to mess with him.
Exactly. But when it comes down to stories that they've done right for the character for Spider-Man, there has been quite a few that that really outshone some of these other ones, right?
Right.
You got obviously, like I mentioned before, the Ultimate comic, and now we had Secret Wars, Kraven Last Hunt, and then you also got what else is there?
You've got you got the symbiote stuff.
Yeah, the Symbiote saga.
Because let's not forget, without Spider-Man, we wouldn't have Venom as a character, and he's like one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time.
Yeah, definitely. I also think as well the Symbiote saga
Mm-hmm.
in the
yeah.
in the animated show. That's
Yeah.
another good story.
Yeah,
That was-
because they covered the whole black suit thing actually remarkably well. They even captured in the comics the scene where Peter's having a nightmare of like the red suit and the black suit actually fighting
for
over him.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was fantastic. I was like,
But
oh, okay.
speaking of that, and I've been hearing these comments online since Let There Be Carnage comic came out. Would you say that Peter's bond with the symbiote is his most toxic relationship?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. It's
'Cause he-
50-50.
Because it depends which version of the black suit you're talking about. Are you talking about the original comics version of the arc or Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3?
I would have to go with, well, first off, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy had the most toxic relationship in it, and that's Peter and MJ. But that's
Yeah.
besides the point.
Yeah.
But according to Nick, and I agree with him on this one. But going into into the comics, I would say kind of toxic because the whole fact that it also puppets him to fight crime and stuff. So I'm like,
No,
yeah,
but what
I'm sorry, go ahead, Talia.
I was gonna say that Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3 film was hugely taking inspirations from not only the animated show, but also from the comics.
Definitely.
Except he indulged too much in like, let's have Peter dance like an idiot.
And he had the emo hair, and then you had the dance, you had the suit.
I'm gonna rub some dirt in your eye.
Well, we
Yeah.
did get the rent owner scene, which is
That is
Iconic.
iconic in and of
Iconic.
itself.
Rent.
Rent? The one character that everyone wanted to see in No Way Home. He just pops into a portal. Rent?
you'll get your rent when you fix this damn door.
No,
Yeah.
but it's great. So, but in conclusion, though, it's like Spider-Man has had some great stuff, over the last 60 plus years.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Some good stories,
And-
some bad stories. Who doesn't?
Yeah, and in the last 30 years, Spider-Man has had probably one of the most interesting dilemmas when it comes down to him and the symbiote suit, him and his relationship with Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy, and him and his Peter's relationship as between playing Peter Parker and Spider-Man, his dynamic. There's also some of the interesting stories there as well.
Well, do you guys also want to talk about the Zeb Wells run?
Briefly, very briefly.
Very briefly.
All right. Here's brief. It sucks.
Okay, that works.
That's brief. I summed up in 2 words. Actually, here's 3 words to sum it up. Don't read it.
All I can say it's literally just editorials trying to get back at Nick Spencer for leaving them for Substack, and it's at the fans' expense. That's the most positive I could call this run.
Yes.
Yeah, because for some reason, again, and Nick has said this in the past, I've said this in the past, Marvel, I get why Marvel doesn't want Peter to be married because they want to have a Spider-Man for the teenagers. That's why you have Miles.
It's literally the reverse of what led up to One More Day. Trying to keep Peter to relate to every generation or relate to his perpetually young so he can relate to everyone. And to an extent that can work, but you also have to address the inevitability of growing up and those challenges.
Yeah.
If you want a young hero or a young Spider-Man, that's what bringing Miles into the main verse was for.
Use what
But
you got.
But you know what's interesting? In the last 5 years, Miles has become more popular.
He
Well, because
has.
of the movie.
No, not
Doesn't
only
matter. His
it
IP
doesn't ma-
has improved in the past 5 years.
Hmm
We
Yeah,
can
in the
argue
last
movies all day long, but we can't. That's an objective truth.
Yeah, it has, which is good because he needs his own little identity, and he needs to be like he needs to have some way to differentiate himself from Peter because Marvel does him no favors. The thing is, I get that they want to have like a Spider-Man for everyone, but you can't share a mantle. It doesn't work. You need to give Miles his own unique identity so he can stand on his own.
Unless it's
Arachnakid.
very.
Arachnakid.
No, they're not doing that. Or see, here's the thing: in the original Ultimate comics, it worked for Miles to be Spider-Man because Spider-Man was dead.
Again,
Yeah.
mantle swabs can work under extraneous circumstances, whether the character just disappeared, dead, or in a situation where he can't cover 2 territories or protect
The,
multiple areas at once.
the only way I see like how they should portray Miles for future now, they should just give him a different name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something Spider, not Spider Boy because that's a bit thing. Arachnakid works.
Only Dan
Because-
Slott would come up with something like that.
Here's the thing: they could have called him Ghost Spider instead of Gwen because he turns invisible.
That is true. Ghost
true.
Spider would work for him.
That is true.
But of course, they had to give it to Gwen Stacy. By the way, I love Gwen. I love Spider-Gwen. She's a great character. I just don't think Ghost Spider was the right name for her.
That's
Yeah.
why they probably stick with Spider-Gwen more often.
Mm-hmm. There
Yeah.
you go. It was kind of fun. I love how in the comics, I don't think they even title it Spider-Man Miles Morales. They just call him Miles Morales.
Yeah, they call it Miles Morales. Even in the video game, they
Mhm.
call it Spider-Man Miles Morales. They
Mhm.
don't call it. And even when he's referred to by thugs, they call him Spider-Man.
Mhm.
They don't call him, oh, it's Spider-Man, Spider Kid, or Arachnakid, or whatever. They're not calling him that. They just call him
Mhm.
Spider-Man. I'm just like, huh?
Would you say Miles Morales has the same branding problem as Tim Drake?
Except
Yes.
less because there's more that makes Miles unique to Peter Peter than Drake in the other compared to the other Bat family members.
The only problem that between is the fact that the Boy Wonder is literally there's been so many interpretations of the Boy Wonder, right, for DC.
That is
Whereas
true.
whereas Marvel have only had one Miles Morales, and that was from the Ultimate comic, right? And they
Yes,
brought it into
he carried over to main continuity. I get what
Yeah.
you're saying.
yeah, so it's like there has been different interpretations of like, oh, there's this Miles Morales from this universe, or this Miles Morales from this universe. There hasn't been any of that, which I find interesting. Even in the across like in the movies, the Into the Spider-Verse, we didn't get that there, nor did we get like I'm not gonna spoil it, but
Yeah.
like even in the trailers that for Across the Spider-Verse, there was no references to Miles Morales in comic form.
Yes, it was very focused on the animated version. I will agree with you on that. And that's I'm not going to spoil anything. That's as much as I'm going to say on that. But I
Yeah.
think we can all agree that both Miles and Tim, to an extent, both have branding or identity crisis issues. See what I did there?
Yep. Yeah.
But-
Nice. I appreciate that. But also, you mentioned identity crisis, so that's a problem.
Hey, it's a cheeky pun. What can I say?
That's a Nick pun right there. But because you mentioned identity crisis,
Why did you say that name?
I regret nothing.
Oh.
But
Oh, and Jairus forgot to play my intro.
no, I'm gonna save that for movie night so everyone on the show can partake.
yeah, that's fair.
Plus, I don't play the intros on Under Two Capes. Remember that.
Okay, I thought I was
Let's see.
safe. I thought I was safe.
No, you're not safe, dude. You're not safe. And for those that don't know, I won the bet.
Yeah, we did reschedule the live stream. I just couldn't make it because I had work at that time.
It's all good. But the point is, I won the bet with Teladia. So
Yeah,
that means that
Please tell me it
his-
wasn't another filler episode.
It was another filler, but it didn't have any like fight
It's
scenes.
just no Superman fight scenes.
So a lot of engagement, but no one came to blows.
He saved people, but the way we decided to define an action scene is a fight scene.
Yeah,
That's
Teladia, you really should have been more specific when you alluded to action
Yeah.
scenes.
Yeah, actually,
Let that be a lesson next time. So, for those who don't know, we made a bet that the most recent of Superman and Lois would not have a fight scene. I won, so that means that for the next movie night, and just for that one stream, I'm gonna make him an intro out of clips from CW Gotham Knights,
That's just cruel.
and I will end it with a shot of Superman and Wonder Woman kissing,
Okay, that's pretty tame.
just to screw with him. No, I'm only kidding because that wasn't part of the bet. But still, it's
Yeah,
gonna
if
be
you
CW
played
Gotham
that,
Knights.
I would dip if you played that.
It's CW Gotham Knights. This is gonna be so awesome.
I just heard that show's gotten even worse. I mean,
Wait till I get
it did. I watched more episodes because here's the thing: I needed more. I wanted to see if there's a more clippable moment. It proceeds to go downhill. I'll tell you about it off camera, but oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, and for you guys' attention, by the way, we're just gonna bring this up right now, is that JJheat will be doing the finale to Superman and Lois live on his channel,
I'll be co-streaming it.
co-streaming it, and we will be doing that to suit round about a suitable time for him. So give you guys a heads up on that.
Well, I'll give you guys an update on the social media and community tabs when that happens. But back to Spider-Man. What do you guys think is the best Spider-Man game, not counting the the PlayStation games?
Oh,
I would have to say the Sam Raimi games,
for me,
tie-in games.
for me, it has to be Web of Shadows,
Yeah, I agree with
That's
you,
a good
Claudia.
one. That's a
Web of
good one.
Shadows, or Edge of Time,
Okay. I
or
like
even Shattered Dimensions. That's another good one as well.
Yeah, I like Web because that one also brings in expertly, I think, the entire Marvel universe to really well because you have like Shield, Black Widow, you have the Avengers and everything, but then you also have like Wolverine back when Marvel actually cared about the X-Men.
And you had Symbiote Wolverine.
Yeah, that itself was. You had Symbiote Black frickin' Cat.
Yes.
Heck, you even had Moon Knight show up.
Yeah, but I
Crazy.
feel like trying to squeeze in the Spider, MJ, and Black Cat love triangle. To me, it wasn't necessary. We could have focused on other characters.
But she's in the game. You got to
She's
do
in
that.
the game. She's got to do it. Yeah, she's in the game.
That's true.
And at least they made. I love how they make romancing her the symbiote/evil option.
Yes. So,
I mean, I agree with you to a certain degree, JJheat. I do like the Sam Raimi ones. I played actually all three of them. I like 3 the best because it brings in again more of Spider-Man. Like, say for instance, you can first off you can play as the new Goblin too. That's dope. I love flying around with him. But you can also like fight Kraven the Hunter. Speaking of Black Suit versus Kraven.
Yeah.
And like a mutated Dr. Kurt Connors, you can explore. What I used to do is I would a web swing, go into the subway, and then ride the subway.
Yeah, that was my favorite part too.
Because you can actually find like hidden tunnels. You can actually find Dr. Connors' lab early.
If
you know where to go.
If you know where to go, which I always knew where to go. But what were you saying, Teladia?
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I agree with you on some of the things you're saying. But I was also gonna say that when it comes down to Spider-Man games back in the day, they weren't so good. But now they're so advanced, the stories are even more richer than what we had previously.
Here's another Spider-Man. I agree with JJheat, but I mean Teladia. But here's another Spider-Man game we didn't mention. How many of you guys have played Spider-Man Friend or Foe?
We do not mention that game. We do not mention that game.
I love how Teladia's pissed.
Yeah,
I thought that game was fun. How was it bad?
It was a bad game,
How was
Jared,
it bad?
because they ripped off. They didn't even use the right voice actor. That's the first thing. Second thing, they said it was supposed to be canon to Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, and it's not.
Oh yeah, because the New Goblin's alive.
Yeah,
That's interesting. I didn't know that. And what? And on that note, Green Goblin's also alive.
yeah. So
I was wondering why they used the Sam Raimi designs for the characters. That's why, because
Because
it'll be canon.
because it was popular and it was an easy cash grab. They knew that game
y-
was gonna suck.
yeah, it was an easy cash grab, and that's why that game sucks. So yeah, eat it.
My favorite is that I would play the versus mode with my friends, and then actually like I plays the black suit Spider-Man because he has this move where he just shoots webs at you and keeps you at a distance. So I would just spam that move.
Yeah. So is there anything else we would like to talk about?
Probably another Spider-Man story that I don't think we've talked about is Spider-Boy from Amalgam.
Oh yeah, because I was out for a bit, but y'all did briefly talk about the a potential
We did
sequel
the
to Amalgam.
We did the Amalgam comics in the last Thunder's 2 Cape episode. I think it was the last one, the one before. Um, Myself and Jared talked about all different incarnations, but we talked about the different combinations for each of the characters, and Spider Boy was one of them, which was
Which is
Superboy and
and
Spider Man.
which is the same, or it's I believe it's Connor, but again he gets Spider-Man powers. But it's also kind of funny how then we also have Spider-Boy in the Zeb Wells run, where apparently Peter had this sidekick the entire time. Peter and Miles had a sidekick the entire time that no one knew about.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Ah,
his name is also Spider-Boy, but I love people trying to figure out who Spider-Boy is, and they actually put Paul's head in Spider-Boy.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know who Paul is, he's one of the characters that's ruining Spider-Man.
Okay, honest, if you want as an everyman, as part of the everyman trope, Paul's not that bad. It's just in context to everything that's going on. Because you got editorial being petty over Nick Spencer leaving, Spider-Man Peter Parker getting a bad rap for no fault of his own again.
Really?
And now it's gotten so bad that not even the quote unquote death of Miss Marvel, who was a supporting character,
Not
can
even
even
that. She like showed up in like a couple of panels.
I thought she had more to do prior to that.
No, she didn't. People counted up the panels. She's like in like 15 or so panels. That's it.
I just
oh,
didn't see the point of this other than pure spite at Nick Spencer and the creatives that left for Substack. Other than pure spite, I do not see the purpose of this run.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's to screw with Spider-Man fans. That's why, because Marvel clearly doesn't like Spider-Man fans. But going off of that, I want to conclude by talking about, okay, if you have to pick one, what is your all-time favorite Spider-Man story? We'll go with comic storylines on this.
okay.
Mine would have to be all-time favorite Spider-Man. See, there's many different ways I can approach this. But for right now, the one that I've enjoyed the most so far is the symbiote saga, because again, I'm a huge fan of Venom, and I like the way it slow builds to revealing to revealing the symbiote.
A tie between the original Secret War because Peter does get the black suit in that event and the symbiote saga itself.
There you
So
go.
For me, to conclude to this is either Kraven's Last Hunt or the Symbiote Saga.
Mm-hmm. Kraven's Last Hunt has to be one of the craziest Spider-Man stories I've ever read, because oh my gosh, does stuff happen in that one.
It goes off the rails pretty quickly.
Like almost immediately.
Yeah. So that's probably one of my two picks.
But yeah, so I think that's a good place to leave it. So let us know in the comments below what your favorite Spider-Man stories are, what your least favorite Spider-Man stories are. As a matter of fact, as a final question, what's your least favorite Spider-Man story? And mine is the entire Zeb Wells run. Actually, no.
Yep.
My least favorite is Sins Past.
One last day when Peter and MJ have to sacrifice their
The whole
marriage.
run was bad.
Yeah.
I can't even name a particular storyline because even if you, God, I'm gonna cringe saying this. So if I vomit, just please edit it out in post. But even if you factor Sins Past, it's just a ripoff of Bat Says, corporate intern attraction, off-panel tension between Peter and Gwen, which was going on by the time. Just Shaq with Harry. At least that makes sense.
The funny part is that the way they explain it with MJ is that she said, I was attracted to his animal magnetism. I'm like, oh, God.
A little on the nose, Mike. A little on the nose. If you're gonna copy Paul Dini.
Yeah. Actually, no, that wasn't. Don't put that on Paul Dini. That was Bruce Timm.
That was Bruce Timm's idea.
Yeah. Oh, my fault.
Yeah. Bruce Timm is
Get
wholly
it right,
responsible.
JJheat.
I know because in the interview when he was talking about the backlash for Bat's in the Killing Joke movie, so he brought up he gave the story reason for, which is a way to like make Nightwing not like Spider-Man or Superman, Batman, and it's a way to like pretension. So I'm like, okay, you could have ended there, but then he went on and said, I always felt that there was an attraction there, and I'm like, I don't want you near children.
Maybe a one-sided one, because again, you have the philanthropist side with Bruce Wayne. You have her initial crush on Batman himself.
But would Bruce tell me this, JJheat? You don't know Batman about as much as I do. Would Batman actually indulge?
Oh no. Maybe Wonder Woman, but Barbara, no.
Not even Wonder Woman. But this is the guy that supposedly made the most definitive version of Batman. Supposedly. That's why I say, while good, the DCAU Batman is not the most comics accurate Batman, because comics Batman would not sleep with Barbara Gordon, even at the very least out of respect for Jim.
Yes.
At the very least.
On that bombshell.
On that bombshell, no, yeah, thanks, Teladia. But in the meantime, okay, so guys, where can we find you, and what have we got coming out on the channel, Teladia?
You guys can find me on Teladia Plays on YouTube and Kick. I have recently posted my Marvel Spider-Man 2 videos. One of them is a reaction video, and the other one's a news video. I did reactions with Mad Max and with Snyder Queen. So you guys want to check that out. I was very hyped for the Marvel Spider-Man 2 stuff. And also I will be doing a live stream with the lads, with JJheat on Tuesday for Superman and Lois, because Jared will be asleep then. So we'll see. And I'm gonna make a bet that there's gonna be action scenes, and this time it's gonna be with
fight
Superman.
Scenes? No, this I'm gonna agree with you. At this point, it would be horrible storytelling if they don't put a fight scene in there.
If they don't,
if they tease Bizarro.
If they don't, we have to play a Gotham Knights intro on both our page.
I'm not making that bet because I'm agreeing with you.
No, Jared, we are on the internet. This is gonna be on the internet.
I'm saying for the internet, I'm not making that bet. And Teladia, we agree on the last one that we're not making that bet because I think there's gonna be fight scenes.
Okay.
Only because this is episode 12 and it's the penultimate episode before the finale. That's your only argument.
Yeah, there's no way they don't put. I would be very pissed if they don't put a fight scene in this one.
Okay.
Wouldn't be the first time CW dragged melodrama all the way to the end.
Yeah,
but make sure you guys do check out the live stream. Hopefully it'll be at 5 a.m. my time, 12 midnight Eastern Standard Time.
You guys could just do it the next day, so I could join in.
Or we do it the next day if it's not up, and we'll be Jared will join us then.
JJheat, what about you?
As for me, you can find me on JJheat Plays on YouTube, JJheat75 on Twitter. And for me, by the time this goes up, our next New Direction episode will already be up. And let's just say the death of Joker had consequences.
Yes. In terms of what I got coming out for me, I have my review, my unboxing and review for Hot Toy Cyborg is out now. Tonight, at the time of this recording, so this will be Friday night, we're going to be discussing for CLD our favorite Batmobiles and a variety of other topics. And then we're going to be talking about for movie night, Justice League Dark.
Yes.
Oh, we're doing a
Camu.
double G Camu. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
And then
it's my
next
pick.
week, Snyder Queen's pick, and she has chosen Amazing Spider-Man.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one. And then Nick has chosen Highlander. And I still have to pick what my movie is because a lot of you actually freak me out because since you're picking a DeCamu movie, I'm going to pick a different movie.
Yeah.
And my quick thoughts on Batman Bad Blood. In terms of the overall trilogy, focusing on Damian, it works. It's just Talia's heel turn to the villainy comes out of nowhere. Unless you just headcanon like, oh, she was brought back with the Lazarus, she's insane, and she just starts this whole campaign because of the Lazarus madness. And that's just all it boils down to. But from a craft perspective, okay, I'm just going to rip off the Band-Aid. This was a complete condensed bastardization of the Grant Morrison run crammed into one film. I'll just say it.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember, here's the thing, JJheat. It's like, I would be fine. See, the madness thing doesn't work because she showed no sign of Lazarus madness even in the last movie where she's put in the damn pit.
No, yeah, that's why I said you could headcanon it as an argument. It's a lousy one, but it's an argument.
It's an argument that doesn't work.
And I'm like, okay, she just emerged from the pit. This is where she's supposed to be ravenous and stir crazy. Oh, a brief embrace, an awkward kiss with Batman, gets out of the cavern as it collapses, and I'm just gonna sail off in the distance in a submarine and come back two movies later completely insane.
Yeah, exactly.
So on that note,
again, we keep trying to end it, but I'll end it here. So stay heroic, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.
Wonderful.